Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to look at the subreddit r/entitledparents, where people tell us their stories of crazy mums and dads who think they're entitled just because they have kids. If you're new around here, please hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video, but for now let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reddit stories. Entitled mother sues me after her son tried to steal my purse. Before I start, I'm from Germany and this story took place there. Please keep that in mind because A, our laws might be slightly different, and B, English isn't my first language. So, in early 2010s, I was trying on sneakers in a shoe store downtown with my purse lying next to me on the floor. I'm both blind and deaf on my right side, brain surgery gone wrong, but I'm okay considering the circumstances. And so, I didn't even really see the teenager who sneaks up, grabs my purse, and starts booking it out the store. If he hadn't started running, I probably wouldn't have even noticed he had taken my bag, lol. Without really thinking, I start after him, and since I was wearing new sneakers from the store, a store clerk runs after me. The kid makes it about 200 yards before I catch up with him. Now, I didn't try to tackle him, I just wanted to grab him and we lost our balance. Poor guy tries to catch his/our fall with me on top of him. He was maybe 150 pounds and I was maybe 185 pounds. And there's a sickening crunch. Textbook Galeazzi fracture. I instantly feel horrible for the chap and try to see what's wrong. I used to work as an EMT. The clerk from the shoe store is standing there staring at us, trying to figure out what just happened. Kid's clutching his arm and trying to act tough. He might have even tried to get back up and keep running, but there was too many people around us now and he changed his mind. I ask for an ambulance to be called, but it's the police who show up first. Called by the store, and ask what happened. I explain. The store clerk explains. A few witnesses chip in. The police asks if I want to press charges, and I say something like, I think he's been punished enough. Forward about a month. In short succession, I get 2 letters. One's informing me that the police is looking into a battering charge against me. The second is a summons into the court, and I can't believe my eyes. I have been sued by the purse snatcher for damages for pain and suffering. Schmerzengeld. They wanted something around 8,000 euros for the broken wrist. Luckily, I have an awesome lawyer, who is also my cousin, and we appear in court at the appointed time. While we wait for the case to be called, the kid sits on a bench, his arm in brace, looking a bit sheepish. Next to his lawyer, a young and henceforth lawyer, stands his mother, glaring daggers at me. We get called inside and lawyer 1 starts to elaborate in great detail how I threw myself on top of the kid while he was on the ground and so caused his injury, which in turn took a surgery to fix. It's hard for me to keep quiet, but I bite the inside of my cheek and hold my tongue. Once lawyer 1 is done, my cousin gets up and the first thing she does is inform the judge that the injury was caused during a crime. Explaining about the purse snatching. The judge pauses, looks at lawyer 1 and asks if he was aware of this. He says yes, but that it shouldn't matter because in their view, I caused the injury deliberately and therefore the circumstances should not matter. As long as I wasn't defending my health, I had no right to injure a child. Judge has 2 questions. Were there witnesses and why were there no charges filed against the thief? My cousin produces statements from witnesses, the first police report of the incident, and the documentation about the suspended investigation about whether or not I should be charged for battering. She also informs the judge that the police had followed my wish in not filing charges for the theft and explains that I felt like the kid had suffered enough due to his injury. This is where the entitled mother makes her first big mistake. She interrupts my cousin before she can finish and says something like, obviously she, meaning me, was afraid she'd get in trouble for what she did to my poor child, and the police did not do their job properly. Lawyer 1 tries to shush her and apologizes to the judge, saying his client is clearly in emotional distress over her child's injury. Her poor child, he was 17, meanwhile sits in his chair behind Lawyer 1 and entitled mother, and looks like he's trying to disappear into the floor. The judge, in an unusual move for a German court, asks the kid directly if he thinks I injured him on purpose. He sort of shrugs, and right there, entitled mother makes mistake number 2. That fat cow threw herself onto my poor child when he was lying in the street. She should be locked up. Now, in Germany, you can't just say rude things like fat cow to someone, even if they're true. At least the fat part, lol. Especially not in court. My cousin turns around to me and slightly mouths, "Wow." There's even a murmur of reaction from the 3 or so people sitting in the back of the court. Many court proceedings are open to the public in Germany. The judge looks at entitled mother, who is again being shushed by Lawyer 1, not quite as gently this time, and who stage whispers. It's true. When all is quiet again, judge waits a few more seconds, just glaring at the entitled mother, teacher style. Then, the judge looks at Lawyer 1 and asks, "Do you want to proceed with this nonsense?" Before Lawyer 1 can say no, it would have made the court cost cheaper, I think. Entitled mother says yes. Judge nods, declares the case dismissed, orders all costs, court, and both lawyers to be paid by the claimant, and then turns to me and asks if I want to file charges for libel. My cousin nods enthusiastically, so I say, yes. Judge announces she'd speed things up and asks Lawyer 1 if he'll be representing entitled mother. He nods. Entitled mother seems to have lost the plot and keeps asking him what's going on. Before Lawyer 1 can even explain to her what's about to happen, the judge makes it official and awards me €150 in damages, and again decides that all costs and lawyer costs should be carried by entitled mother. My favourite thing about this, my lawyer is my cousin, and she wouldn't have charged me more than absolutely necessary. But she's also working in a prestigious law firm with 4 partners, who rake up a combined 6 PhDs, and which is not cheap. I don't remember the exact amount that entitled mother ended up getting billed with, but it was a good chunk. I don't understand what type of mother would let their child steal someone's purse and then sue the person for it's just beyond me, it's beyond me. Entitled parent saves spot for 12 kids, gets taste of her own medicine. Backstory. This event took place a couple of years ago, so the details are a little fuzzy. My old swim team would host picnic and carnivals for holidays, and this one happened to fall on a Memorial Day, picnic/carnival. Anyways, onto the story. The cast, me, friend F, EP, entitled parent, group G, too lazy to name all 12, and ride operator RO. I was waiting in line for one of those bungee jump mount things. Here's one on screen. Me and my friend were nearing the front of the line, and so was the entitled parent. It was this moment that Outstar, the EP, shows her true colours. "Hey kids, get over here. I'm near the front and I think it's time for you to go back in your spots." Then, not joking, 12 kids come out of the nearby crowd and join the front of the line, pushing most of the line backwards majorly. Keep in mind that she was pretty much at the front. Excuse me? Yes? Yeah, she did drag it out like that. Well, me and all these other kids were waiting our turns, and it's not fair that you could save the spot for 12 other kids. Well, we paid for the wristband, therefore we are the customer. We get to do whatever we want. We paid for the wristbands too. Well, my kids probably have better grades than you. You will probably drop out of school if you haven't already. Now, my friend is shook by this. Keep in mind that most of the kids are like 14 or under, and my friend himself was 13. During all of this, the ride operator comes over to let the kids in and strap them in, and makes no comment. While me and my friend look on in disbelief, all the kids get on, forcing us to wait 3 whole rotations instead of the 0 we would have had to wait. Cut to later. I get in line for the jumpy thing. I don't know the name still. And notice entitled parent gets in line behind me. Hey, friend. My friend comes over. Yeah? Me, whispering, can you get as many kids that have wristbands as possible? And when I reach the front of the line, I'll pretend I saved the spot for all of them, plus you, and we'll pay the entitled parent back. Long story short, it worked. And no matter how steamed the entitled parent got, she couldn't tell us it wasn't allowed because she did it herself. That comment about, oh, my kids probably have better grades than you, like what? Where's the relevance there? Entitled mum thinks it's okay to touch strangers' bellies. This happened a few days ago, so I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that people think this is okay. My cousin is 6 months pregnant, yay, and I took her to the store to help her decide on some things. Strollers, car seats, etc. As we were walking around and looking at adjustable cribs, a small boy, around 7 or 8, walked up to her. Are you having a baby? Yes, I am. I am having a boy. Can I touch it? My cousin isn't big on being touched, especially by strangers, so naturally she said no and the boy started to fuss. I want to touch the baby. We understand, but she doesn't want to be touched by someone she does not know. I want to touch him. I'm sorry, sweetie, but people have personal bubbles and some people don't like having them popped. After that, he stormed off and my cousin thought that was the end. She thought that he was old enough to understand and was taught about personal space. We continued shopping for a bit when the entitled kid came back with his mum. Oh goody. You! Why won't you let my son touch your baby? My cousin looked confused, and rightfully so. This lady was just storming up to us, so I got in front of her a little. I'm sorry? You won't let my son touch your baby. Why? Because I don't know him, and it's rude to just touch people you don't know. I want to touch him! I know, sweetie, hold on. No, he won't hold on. She doesn't want to be touched by your son. Entitled mother looked at me and scoffed and rolled her eyes. Ah, he doesn't mean any harm. He just wants to touch the dang baby. It's okay, EK. I give you permission to go touch her baby. He started to walk near my cousin and I stood directly in front of her now. My cousin was looking really shocked and stunned at this point, as this has never happened to her before. No, you are not going to touch a stranger when they ask you not to. Do you understand that? I look up at his mother, who is getting more upset. The entitled kid now starts having a temper tantrum and throws himself on the ground, crying and screaming. Look what you've done! You've upset my child! No, you've upset your child by promising him something he could not have. What is the deal? It's not even your child, and he won't be touching her, he would be touching the baby. I was so taken aback by this statement that I had to blink a couple of times. Never in my life have I heard that one before. Luckily, the manager came over after she heard all the fuss. What's going on here? Is everything okay? No, everything is not okay. She won't let my son feel her baby. I don't want to be touched. He isn't touching you. None of this would have happened if you would just let him touch your baby. Entitled kid is still rolling on the floor having his tantrum. Ma'am, can you please settle your child? He will settle when he gets to touch the baby. Oh yeah, great way to raise your kids. Shut up, this is all your fault. Ma'am, you have no right to touch this woman, nor does your son. And he would not be touching the baby as it is not born yet. And even if it was, the mother has a right to say who can and cannot touch her child. That is such BS. He doesn't even mean any harm. It doesn't matter. She doesn't want to be touched. At this point, my cousin is shaking and is starting to sit down, and I'm sure she is about to have a panic attack. I turn towards her and ask her if she is going to need an inhaler. We are both asthmatic, and it flares up when we have panic attacks. She nods, and I reach in my purse and hand her mine, to which she starts taking. "Don't do drugs in front of my child!" Entitled mother starts to take a step towards us, and I immediately stood up. "Don't you dare come near her. She's having a panic attack because of you." "That's very unlikely. She just needed her fix." "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you and your child to leave now." "But I haven't even finished my shopping yet." "I don't care. You have been harassing these young women, and I want you out of my store." Entitled mother went on to say something until the manager spoke up again. "Now, before I call the police and have you escorted out." The entitled mother then scoffs and glares at me before picking up entitled kid, who is still having a fit but not as loud now, and headed out of the store. I got back down onto the floor to check on my cousin. "Are you alright?" My cousin just nodded and I helped her up. She thanked the manager for helping us, and she gave us a 30% discount on our purchase for all our troubles. So, happy ending. How is this woman about to say that an inhaler is a drug? What? Hey guys, I just want to let you know really quick that you know all the shorter subreddits like r/choosing beggars, r/Tinder, r/mildly infuriating, all the pictures and messages, the really funny ones. I'm actually going to be uploading them on my main channel, which is Fake Jake. It'll be at the top of the description and it'll also be on screen, I think. Right at the end, something like that. But yeah, if you want to see those kind of shorter ones where it's more me telling jokes, then please do give it a try because you might like it. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you very soon.